Okay, so that was a bit of an ugly, boring, frustrating game. And what makes for a mostly frustrating weekend, other than that great comeback last night, as the Mets lose this game 7-1, and the final score should have not been 7-1. If this was 4-1, 5-1, you still don't like the one part of the Mets offense side. But as far as the pitching, I mean, this really drives me nuts because we talked in the trade deadline stream on Friday, which if you didn't check that out, you can. It's a 4-hour long stream, so it'll get you through most of the day. But we talked about, okay, you make the trade for Javi Baez. You get rid of a prospect who I liked a lot in Pico Armstrong, mainly because of the position he plays, center field. I feel like that's very important to this organization right now. But it's like, okay, well, you could use some extra pitching. You could use more bullpen arms. And the fact that on Friday night, the Mets go to Anthony Banda when they're down a couple runs, he puts the game out of reach. He gets DFA'd. Then Guillorme gets hurt. So now Jeff Hartlib is back. Then he puts you out of reach. So it's like, I understand you don't want to use Edwin Diaz or Trevor May or Aaron Loop in a game where you're down a few runs, you've only scored one run, but still, you don't want to put yourself out of reach and make comebacks impossible. If Jeff Hartlib or if Anthony Banda is just going to be your depth guys, the guys you go to when you're behind or in big margins, they have to be semi-capable of keeping a game relatively close. They can't just put you out of reach. So I think it's just very important, and it's just very frustrating because you look at a team like the Braves who acquire Richard Rodriguez, and that deal didn't come out till after 5 o'clock. So they after 4 o'clock, excuse me. So they got Rodriguez at the very, very last second, and they didn't even say what the Braves gave up. So the Braves got Rodriguez for close to nothing, and you let him go to a division rival. Meanwhile, you have Jeff Hartlib coming in the ninth inning. I mean, imagine if that was Richard Rodriguez. Not that the Mets are going to come back, but it's just that going forward, long term, this is something that can cost you. When if everybody's tired, the guy you're going to is Jeff Hartlib. That's unacceptable. Like, these are not major league pitchers, and I thought these kind of days were done. The trade deadline has come and gone. There's no more excuses, and there's no more options. That's the problem. Since this trade deadline has come and gone, you can't go and get another pitcher. That's it. You're done. So I'm just very frustrated that this is what we're going to on Friday and on today. So, and we know it's going to happen more. I mean, this is only 2 days since the trade deadline has passed. So I'm just very frustrated. Unless we got Louis, we're embarrassing to watch. Baez didn't strike out today. He did not. So that's good. Nationals won. Good for them. It's going to be a long year for them after trading away everybody. But you know what? The Nationals got a lot of nice prospects. So within a couple of years, the Nationals are going to be competitive again. But I think when you go down the line, we talk about the Mets only getting one run. That was a Jeff McNeil home run much later in the game. For the most part, the Mets were getting no hit. I mean, that can't happen. With this kind of offense, you can't be getting no hit by Gutierrez, a guy that you hit well last time. So all of a sudden, this guy's a lockdown pitcher. I mean, give me a break here. So, I mean, the fact that Alonso looked like he had 2 home runs, especially his third at-bat. I mean, Alonso ripped it. I thought it was going. It did not get out. You know, Dom got hit. Javi did nothing. Michael Conforto, a walk. I mean, that's all Conforto is now, just a walk, and that's about it. He's been struggling with the bat. We all know that. Brand Drury got a walk, so I guess his heat streak is over. Pilar got the first hit of the game, and Tomas Neal did nothing offensively. I can't say I'm that surprised. Brandon Nimmo pinch hit, which is pretty important because the past couple of days they've been talking about, is Nimmo hurt after the diving catch he made on Friday night. He wants to return to the starting lineup tomorrow in Miami. I hope he can and does not get hurt because we know we have no center field depth. The fact that if Brandon Nimmo were to go down, the guy that the Mets are going to call up is Albert Almora. That's a huge drop-off. So I really would like to hope that Brandon Nimmo is going to be healthy. And, yeah, I mean, this is a big storyline right now. 30 minutes to sign Kumar Rocker, and now we're down to 26 minutes. And many people have said, including Jeff Passan, it is unlikely the Mets are going to sign Kumar Rocker. So that was a waste of excitement. I mean, we were so excited to get this draft pick. Thought it was the steal of the draft. Guy fell to us. Oh, my gosh, dream come true. Mets get Kumar Rocker. And now the Mets don't get Kumar Rocker because whatever they looked at before the draft, before they picked him, I mean, the medicals didn't come out good, so now they're going to not sign him. Even if the guy needs Tommy John, like, this kid has so much talent that I'd be willing to wait a couple years and still have him in my organization. You know, Matt Allen is down to Tommy John. JT Gins had a couple Tommy Johns. He's pitching pretty well so far. You know, he just finally got it going this year in minor league ball. So now you're going to have the 11th pick next year. Who knows what you're going to get? So I just think that it's been a bad weekend for the farm system because you lose Pico Armstrong, and now you're going to lose Kumar Rocker for, you know, we talked about before, we like our top 5, but after that, it really drops down, and now it's getting even worse. So the farm system is getting worse as we speak. Meanwhile, Vientos and Mauricio and Beatty and Alvarez are raking in the minor leagues, so at least they have that going for them. What's up, Frank? Horrible day for the Mets. If the Mets do not sign Rocker, it's an epic mistake. Well, it looks like they're not going to sign him, so I agree. Whoever's at 11 will not be half as high as Rocker. I agree. The only thing is that unless his elbow or arm or whatever is beyond repair and, like, no matter what, he's never going to be good again, then there's no point in picking him. But if you feel like after a procedure he could get pretty close to where he was, you have to sign him. And I mean, like, the whole point of a dispute about money is pointless because you've already done the draft with the intention that you're going to give Kumar Rocker $6 million, and you can't spread that money elsewhere. So it's like that money is committed. You can't use that money into international prospects. So that $6 million that you're going to give them, so what? I mean, you can't let this come down to money. I think they're more concerned about the elbow, and maybe the money is a little bit of a factor as well. Frank about rants, yeah. I'll cool down on the ranting for now because Mets Talk with Hayden has been sitting in line waiting very patiently. He just got a little something to eat, so I'm going to wait till he's finished. I don't have to talk with his mouth full. We don't want a choking hazard because I cannot perform any first aid while I'm not with Hayden right now. Yeah, I agree. Oh, I know who his agent is, Louis. I mean, listen, we know Scott Boras is a pain in the neck, but still, if you agree to $6 million, give him $6 million and get it done. Again, unless his arm is just so bad, like, I feel like you should have known that in advance. I mean, the fact that this guy dropped and that didn't set off a red flag to you, I mean, like, you look like dummies. If like all these other teams knew that this guy was hurt and you're just like, oh no, we'll draft him anyway. If you knew that was the case, you should have took somebody else. There were plenty of other good players available. I mean, there was only the 10th pick in the draft. So I'm just very frustrated the way this Rocker situation has unfolded because, you know, we are so good when it happened. We were so excited, and now we're just like, and now we don't have them. All right, Hayden, so what do you think? Offense, Kumar Rocker, prospects? I mean, what the heck is going on right now?
Yeah, so today was a not good day, no bueno. Simply enough, we saw the same thing that's been going on this season. This team could not hit. At first, it was not being able to with runners in scoring position or having runners on base. Now, you know, we're only getting 3 hits a game, and we're only scoring runs from home runs. And it's mind-boggling. They fired Chili Davis after 2 weeks of low offense, but we have been having probably about 2 months of off and on and, you know, bipolar offense, and Quaddle Crap or Quaddle Bum or whatever his name is still around. He needs to go. I think Rojas needs a reevaluation because something's going on. You know, they talk about the great energy and that stuff in the dugout. I don't care about the energy. Your job is to go out there and hit and play defense, not stand on the sidelines with the cheerleaders and get some pom-poms. No, you're a baseball player. Your job is to go out there, hit, work with the glove, not, you know, have morale. I don't give a damn. It was great to see last night Javier Baez provide something, show that he is welcome in New York so far. As of right now, I've been liking what I've been seeing out of Baez. But the offense is not here. Either something needs to go with this lineup. Conforto is not hitting. Honestly, at this rate, I'm thinking about sending Conforto down to AAA because you already moved him down. I mean, do you want to move him to the?
I don't think they can. I'm pretty sure, like, he's been in the league so long now that you can't send him into the minors.
I mean, simply enough, I'm thinking. I mean, he you know, you went from batting him second to third to fourth to fifth, now sixth. Put him 8th, 9th, and if he doesn't hit, then you start benching him. And so they did with Davis today. They benched him today. As you pointed out, it was interesting to see Nimmo pitch in today. I found that very interesting. But I feel most badly for Marcus Stroman because he honestly, in the early parts of the game, he pitched up well. You know, he left one or so splitter sliders that didn't, you know, split perfectly, and it was able to leave the ballpark. And then obviously, you know, towards the 5th, 6th inning, he started to lose it a little bit. And then you have Miguel Castro come in when you have an opportunity to load the bases, and what is Miguel Castro known for? His loss of his command. So you put him up there with 1 out and 2 on, walks. Simply, when you walk the pitcher, that's pretty bad. I mean,
on 4 pitches with the bases loaded.
Let's be real. Bases loaded, the bat's staying on his shoulder. He's not moving it. So that's just a shameful overall. And then you have Hartlieb, and I think everyone's thinking this, but I'll just say it in case you're not. I thought we were done with the Corey Oswalds and these bums who were giving up 10 runs at the inning. I thought we were done with that.
Yep.
And then everyone talks about, all the guys are hurt. We just had a deadline. You could have acquired Ian Kennedy. You could have acquired Kyle Gibson. You could have acquired so much more. And you go for Williams, who I don't even know what's going on.
He's a starter. I mean, he just made a minor league start last night. He pitched well, but you're not bringing him in the ninth inning in a 4-1 ball game, so he doesn't help with that either. And like, you could have just got any decent, serviceable arm. I mean, you think that every team's gonna hold on to their relievers? Teams that are out of it, you couldn't find anybody in Minnesota or Baltimore's bullpen, like nobody. I mean, you literally got no one.
Tanner Scott, I pointed it out. Tanner Scott.
Yeah, Tanner Scott. You could have got any of these guys. And you stick with Bond, you stick with Harley. I mean, you know these guys have no business being up here right now. And to go back to J.D. Davis, I mean, I just don't understand what they're doing with him right now, because we all thought that JD was done. He's out. He's getting traded. He's probably going to be in the Baez trade. He wasn't. They keep JD Davis. They don't start him yesterday. They don't start him today. And then when it comes to pinch hitting, they're bringing up VR. I mean, I like Jonathan VR as a guy who, if Jeff McNeil needs a day off, or if JD Davis or Javi Baez needs a day off, VR starts that one game, maybe a pinch runner here. That's it. I don't need Jonathan VR as my first bat off the bench. That should be J.D. Davis's job. I mean, J.D. is a hitter because we know he's not a defender. He's supposed to provide offense to this team. And I hope that since the trade deadline has passed, he wouldn't have to worry about, I'm going to get traded. I'm going to get traded. He could clear his just mental airspace, because we know that his struggles were mental. He didn't have his approach. He was chasing everything, which is not J.D. Davis's game. So I just don't know why. It's like, if they were going to retain J.D. Davis, why are they not playing him? So if you weren't going to use him, you might as well just traded him. If you traded J.D. Davis and took on all of Javi's money, maybe you don't have to part with Pete Crow Armstrong. Maybe you could have parted with, I don't know, Palmer or Alexander Ramirez or a lesser prospect. So I just don't understand what their plan is with J.D. Davis right now, because in 2019, when J.D. first got here, he was a bench player and he was coming off the bench as a pinch hitter. He wasn't doing anything. Once he got full-time playing time, he got his rhythm. He was a great hitter. So he's not a part-time guy. He's not a free agent hitter guy. So you're not even putting him in the correct role. And I find that very frustrating, because Baez is your shortstop. So it's not like, he's taking up J.D. Davis' playing time. J.D.'s not playing short. Brandon Drury's been red hot. Don't get me wrong. But he batted for Michael Conforto yesterday. He played right field. He got the game-winning hit. So if you want Brandon Drury to play every day, it has to be Michael Conforto's playing time, not J.D. Davis. I got to see what J.D.'s bringing me to the table, because Michael Conforto, I'm not seeing improvement. The fact that Conforto had an at-bat late in the game where he took 3 straight pitches, strike 1, strike 2, strike 3, didn't swing at any of them, I mean, that's a problem. And you see that with Conforto, it's only getting worse. And people booing him, it's only making it worse. So I hope that now that they'll be away, they'll be in Miami. He probably shouldn't be getting booed, because not too many people.
No. He still will. Trust me, because someone's going to be there.
Oh, well, you'll be the one guy booing him, so I'm sure he'll hear you, because there's going to be nobody there. I hope that him being on the road will help him out, just because mentally this is not who Michael Conforto is. So I think that he probably could use a couple days away from Citi Field. Yeah, I mean, we're all mad we gave a PCA. And similar to Kumar Rocker, like, we talk about the Mets not signing Rocker because of his elbow. Maybe they're thinking the same thing with Pete Crow Armstrong. I don't know. But I think when it comes to training staff and medicals, the Mets are the last people to be trusted, because you look at Luis Guillorme, who pinch runs for Jeff McNeil because Jeff McNeil has a bad leg, and Luis Guillorme ends up messing up his leg, scoring on Dom Smith's game-tying hit. So, again, we talk about, if you try to sprint on this team, you're going to pull a hamstring instantly. So this training staff is still a problem. And they just don't do anything about it. Nobody's held accountable. Even if you have to fire the assistant trainer, I don't care. Like, you got to just show something. I mean, it's very frustrating.
And I know today, I mean, I hopped on Twitter, and the first thing I read was Tyler McGill's in a bullpen session.
Yeah, I saw that.
From the trainer staff, but I just thought that could have been a conversation to improve the mechanic to avoid an injury. But did you want to get into the Sandy Alderson stuff, or not really?
Let me get Mets fan in here real quick. He could say his piece on just today's game and what we talked about, and then we could move on to some other topics. All right, so Mets fan, I mean, what is there really left to say about this brutal game?
I miss Jake. I just miss Jake.
Yeah, that's a good one. Another guy that has been, I don't know what they're doing to him, but they've just destroyed his arm. I mean, I don't know if he's even coming back at this point. I really don't.
Cy Young's out of
I miss Jake. I miss Lindor. I miss our guys. I don't even know what to say anymore. Just a complete snooze fest put on for the last 3 hours. That was just awful. I don't know. I think everything's been said at this point. It's so ridiculous. I don't get it. There's like one night where you're like, okay, maybe the bats are getting going. Maybe they're gonna go. And then all of a sudden they get shut down by a starter who they destroyed in Cincinnati. So I don't know. I'm so confused as to what the angle is here. I feel like it's gonna be better when you get Lindor back, but like, how better is it gonna be? It just Luis Guillorme, another guy going on to the injury list. I'm sure somebody got hurt today.
Probably.
The whole Rocker crap. I mean, just another typical day in Mets land. But oh man, how many shots can we take until we're all dead? I mean, that's basically that's all I'm asking at this point. I mean, I don't know what to say anymore.
Yeah, and you talk about Lindor being down. Obviously, Nimmo hasn't started the past few days, and you know that Nimmo obviously is the energizer. He gets the offense going. And for Francisco, I feel like those two guys are going to get on base. Like, Nimmo's going to draw his walks. Lindor, he's done a pretty good job drawing walks as well. His on-base percentage is pretty good considering how he hasn't gotten as many hits as we would have liked. So those guys are going to get on, and it's just going to come down to, can Jeff and Pete and Dom and Javi drive them in? I mean, that's what it's going to come down to, because today it wasn't like it was one of those games where the Mets got 10 hits, they drew a bunch of walks, and they just kept stranding runners. They weren't even getting guys on. I mean, compared to the flip side where the bullpen, everybody walked everybody. I mean, whether it was Castro or Diaz or Smith or Hartlib, I mean, everybody came in, just walk. And this game could have been a lot worse. This could have been 10-1, 12-1 with how many base runners Cincinnati had on from the sixth inning on. And Marcus was pitching so good. And then all of a sudden, that sixth inning, he left a few pitches over the plate and he gets crushed. And how about this guy, this schmuck, who is filling in for Joey Votto, who was on a historic pace. He almost hit that history-tying home run last night off the wall. You're like, okay, at least Joey Votto's not playing. That should be a nice little plus for us. And no, this guy comes in and goes 5 for 5. Probably going to get insane. That'll be the show card after this, so I can't wait to do those challenges. I mean, oh my gosh. But of course it's the Mets. Like, who else would no name just completely kick your butt besides the Mets? Oh, we're facing Luzardo tomorrow. Oh, yay. Oh, my God.
And then we all know how the Mets are against the Marlins. But you know what? Pete Alonso has great numbers in that ballpark. And
I fell asleep at least 3 times today during the game. I will admit that.
I was at work, and everyone just looked at me because they were standing next to me, watch me watch it, and they just Aiden, and they just stared at me. But honestly, it comes to a point now. Do you want me to rant off about this front office and what is going down, or are we saving that for Thursday?
If we could limit the F-bombs and criminal bombs and things like that.
Oh, no, I wasn't even talking about Cohen, but
oh, okay, well then.
Yeah, I was talking about Sandy Alderson.
Yeah,
just the fact. I think I briefly went over this with Mets fan. The fact that the Mets want to compete. We were given, and it's interesting because everyone points out this. Oh, Cohen said that this 3 to 5 years, in terms of a championship. So what does that mean? Are we just going to neglect and avoid every single free agency and trade deadline for the next 3 years, and then the third year, let's make a big splash? No, you start. You start from the first year and you build up. I don't think Baez is a very good start, if you ask me, nor is Trevor Williams. But that's just my opinion. What do I know? And just this trade deadline did nothing for us. Maybe it helped us out yesterday, sure, but that's one game out of how many more games to go? 97, 67 or something around those lines. 57, my apologies.
Yeah, it's long
that today. So it just comes to a point where we have so many opportunities during this deadline. Ian Kennedy, Kyle Gibson, Chris Bryant. Nope. We gave up Pete Crow Armstrong, a top 5 prospect, for a rental, a guy who may not even stay with us for more than a year. And what makes it worse is I want you guys in the chat to name 3 outfield prospects, not naming Cortez and Lee. Exactly, that's what I thought. The Mets are trying to build their farm system. Steve Cohen, to quote him, you build, not buy. Well, what are we building? I mean, if we're trading away our top 5 prospects, and everyone talks about, oh, but PCA, he was injured. He had great athleticism. He looked like a Justin Duran from people I've been talking about. It's just so unfortunate what this franchise has. This is probably one of the worst weeks this season so far. I mean, we have no more opportunities now to say, oh, we'll make a move at the deadline. Oh, well, this will change in a week. The only thing we have now is to hope and pray and fingers crossed that our offense can get hot, that Pete Alonso could start hitting home runs with more runners on, that Nimmo can get on, that McNeil could start, hitting BABIP some bloopers the other way, that Conforto could actually get on base and not go 0 for 4 for 5 games. This is just coming ridiculous. And the fact of the matter is that Steve Cohen, Sandy Alderson, and Zach Scott, those two, bye-bye. Bye-bye. Sandy Alderson has the mindset of, I want to erase everything that Brody did. Okay, in terms of the white-collar part, yes. Not in terms of the farm system. That is what this Mets team is looking right now. And honestly, at the rate this team is playing, we're not a playoff team. We are lucky playoff teams. I don't care about, 2006 St. Louis Cardinals 83 or the 1973 Mets 82. No. I always say in my streams, I want the Mets to be successful because they are successful, not because of other teams' failures and play like crap.
Yeah, you're right. I don't want them backing in. Like, you kind of win the division by default.
First game, you'll get swept.
Yeah, and especially because the Brewers, I mean, they're playing pretty well right now. They beat Atlanta today. They won the series against Atlanta, so they helped us out a little bit. But I just feel that, if you get to the playoffs and you're struggling here with runners scoring position or whatever, and you're not getting on base, and you go into Jeff Hartlib and things like that, and who knows, and DeGrom's health is really going to be a make or break, because DeGrom can match up with any of these aces you're going to face, whether it's Milwaukee or the Dodgers or the Giants, Padres, whoever it is. If you have a really good chance to win the game whenever Jacob deGrom is on the mound, which right now it seems far from a guarantee. I mean, it just really does. Now they're saying September is the best case scenario. I mean, what kind of pitcher is he going to be by then? It's going to be almost 2 months that deGrom hasn't pitched. So I just think that that's going to be really hard to combat and be competitive in the postseason if that's what your team looks like. So, I mean, it is just very frustrating, especially the way they handled the deadline with Baez, that they told Chicago, you got to pay off all the money, even though the Mets are under the luxury tax. And then they said, we can't get Kenta Maeda or Donaldson because of money. And I just thought that those days, too, were over, and that for me, I always said that the Mets' strength is going to be their owner, not their farm system, so that they had the ability to take on Javi's contract, which isn't a big contract to begin with, but take on that contract and not have to worry about giving up a big prospect, because that's not their strength. Their strength is money. And it just looks like that's not the case. And if Sandy Alderson says, okay, well, if I'm going to trade any of my good prospects, it's going to be Pete Armstrong because I don't have any tie to him because I didn't draft him, I just don't think that's the right mindset to take. And what concerns me is that if I'm Sandy Alderson and I remember how this team got to the World Series in 2015 and why this team didn't win the World Series, it was because a big reason why was because the defense, whether it was in the infield or the outfield, they made way too many errors. And it just seems to me that when Sandy Alderson trades away Pete Armstrong, and the plan is probably to move Jeff McNeil to third base, which they shouldn't do. McNeil's been playing really well at second base. They should put Javi at third because he's a gold glove shortstop with a cannon of an arm. He did 2 throws today at 90 miles an hour, which would be the 5th and 6th highest throw this year. So Javi Baez has a gun. He could play third base easy. You're going to put Jeff McNeil out of position. We already know Dom and Nimmo, they've been good, but they still scare me a little bit. And it's just like, how do I know that in the postseason, the defense isn't going to be a problem in the close game when Willy Adames puts the ball in play and Eduardo Escobar puts the ball in play and the Mets defense cost them the game? And I thought that long-term, Pete Armstrong is going to be our long-term center fielder and we'll have at least good defense in center. Obviously, that's not the case. So I'm just thinking to myself, like, does Sandy value defense? Because I felt that now he has the money. He has the ability to create more of an all-around team. And now it just seems like, no, he wants dingers and that's it. So you go for Javi Baez, who's a big all-or-nothing home run hitter, and what are you going to do? Just become the Yankees now, get a bunch of home run hitters and not value defense and speed and actually sending guys? So I just think it's very frustrating.
Yeah.
What do you think about that? Just about
what are you people doing?
They value
like
defense.
The damn stream, weirdos.
Yeah, if you're in, you might as well leave a like. Make us feel better. Make all of us feel better. We get more people in here to talk about how
each like will represent a win. I like that.
Yeah, there we go. What do you think, Mets fan? Am I wrong here? The way Sandy's building the team as far as like long-term defense?
I just have no idea what the approach here is. Like my only hope here, and I said this on Twitter yesterday, that they are going to be going after like the top international prospects that hopefully are in the outfield, kind of like how it was found with
Soto and Acuna.
What's with Soto and Acuna? Like these guys, they come out of nowhere like that.
Mm-hmm.
Can we do that? I mean, why not?
Our best prospect is an international guy in Alvarez, and Mauricio, who's probably gonna be our second prospect, is also international.
And that's what I like. A few things I'll say. That's what I like about Steve Cohen. He's more interested in going abroad now, especially in the general Southeast Asia, Korea and Japan, which has kind of been lacked with the prior administration, where they weren't really going towards Asia. We don't know with the Tomoyuki Sagano over the offseason, the Mets pursued a really big interest. So that could be something to explore too. And I definitely agree. I think the international prospects is definitely going to be more common now in this ownership.
I'm also looking at the AAA depth chart right now.
Mm-hmm.
You have Franklin Killamay, who has been pitching pretty well. You have Josh Walker, who just got there, who's been pitching okay in his first two outings. Let's see. Who else do you have? You have Vizcaíno. Where the hell has this guy been? He's 30 years old. He's definitely major league ready. He is healthy. He's been pitching like what is going on here? Marcel Renteria, he's not getting any older. And I mean, he was decent in spring.
I'd like to see Vizcaíno.
I mean, there are tons of.
I'd really like to see Vizcaíno. He has elite.
It's just like what are we doing here? I don't get it. Like what are we doing here? I'm so sick and tired of seeing Jared Eichhoff. I'm tired of that. I do not want to see
he's back again. He's in the minor leagues.
And the Mets had to check the deadline.
They bring him back again. They brought him back again?
Well, no, he's in the minor leagues. He cleared waivers again.
Fucking wonderful.
So that means that let's just say I paint you a scenario real quick. Let's say Trevor Williams pitches in the minor leagues, right? And he does a perfectly good start. Then the next day somebody gets hurt. You know who's getting called up, right? Jared Eichhoff. So it's like I would not be surprised if we see him pitch again. And it's like I don't know how much more obvious it could be if you DFA this guy 3 times, 4 times. Nobody claims him. No one wants this guy. Not a single team. Major League Baseball wants this guy, but you keep him all 4 times and keep using them and losing every time. Like, how dumb could you be?
Just punting. It's just punting. Every time you put this guy on the mound, it's legit punting. And you're in August now. You're in August. This is why I'm so like, I understand they should have got another arm at the deadline. They definitely should have. 100%. But you have to kind of look right now. There's like, okay, you're not getting another arm here. Maybe you can claim somebody or bring somebody in, but just go deep into the minor league system, deep into what you have available, and call some of these guys up. Give them a chance at this point. Vizcaíno, we have not seen. Josh Walker, he's okay. Killamay, I mean, he got called up too early last year, but he's been looking really good in the minor leagues.
His command worries me.
It does worry me, but he does throw hard. Yeah,
he throws hard, but my concern is that you saw what happened with Castro today, where you brought up runners on base. Guys that have such inconsistent command, you can't bring those guys with runners on base. So you really have to have very specific times where you go to Killamay in order for him to really be effective. But what I will say is that if this rotation could ever get fully healthy, we finally see DeGrom, we finally see Syndergaard, I think Rich Hill is going to turn out to be a great reliever because in his first two starts, his first few innings are great. Then all of a sudden, he kind of runs out of gas. He's 41 years old. 4th inning, 5th inning, he struggles. So if you only need him for 2 innings or 3 innings, I think Rich Hill is going to be perfect in the bullpen if they could ever get him into the pen and have enough starters to move him to the bullpen, if they could ever get to that part.
Well, I think they're going to get
see how that goes.
They get like, I think once they get DeGrom back, I mean, another arm's going to go down. I mean, this is how the pattern is just, fallen. I mean, if you look at just the pitchers that are on the disabled list, you have an entire starting rotation there and an entire bullpen. I mean, look at this: Jacob DeGrom, Joey Lucchesi, David Peterson, Robert Stock, Noah Syndergaard, Jordan Yamamoto, Dylan Patansis, Robert Gazelman, Steven Nagosic, Corey Oswald, Sean Reed Foley. I meut this is
not insane. A bullpen I like.
And Tommy Hunter was on the injured list too before they traded him.
Tommy Hunter was on the injured list. Do we have to put Cano in a disguise to pitch? I mean, what do we have to do here to keep these guys healthy? This is ridiculous.
And
we've got to go.
Yeah, we've talked about this before, but like this training, whatever staff, whatever you want to call it, it does not get any better. I mean, we talked with Guillorme. How did Guillorme get hurt? Like, I didn't even see this guy get hurt.
He pulled something stepping right on home plate.
Probably pulled something in the ninth.
On the replay today. He hurt himself.
When he was running from second to home, he probably pulled something on that.
Filling in for somebody who's hurt, of course. You know, I mean, like, how does that happen? You're running so the other guy doesn't get hurt, so you get hurt instead. I mean, well, how does that happen? I mean, only the Mets.
Guillorme's a god. That's what he does. He sacrifices his body for everyone else. That's what Guillorme does.
Guys, if the Mets trade McGill, they're dumb. I mean, they can't do that. McGill's been
that's the reason why I'm saying, like, go deep into your minor league system, because this man, Tyler McGill
came out of nowhere.
Where did he come from?
I never heard of him.
Who the hell knows? Maybe some of these guys are better in that major league pressure than some of your top prospects that you could give a chance.
Yeah, McGill was
like
pitching
Thomas
pretty
Sabucky,
good in the minors for the most part. He was okay, but not like this. I mean, he's been really, really good. So hopefully, whatever they had to talk about it while he was warming up, say is nothing about the Mets. Who knows? I mean, oh my gosh,
I was so excited.
I don't want to imagine. So hopefully he could actually make his start tomorrow and get through the start, because you know it's going to be tough because you had to use a good amount of relievers in this game. So you hope that you have a lead, because those are the guys going to be available. It's going to be Diaz. It's going to be May. It's going to be Familia, Loop. I mean, why in the actual was Loop warming up while Hartlib was blowing up? Why are you even wasting Loop's warm-up pitches? Why? You know what I mean? Like, this is your best reliever. Why would you warm him up in a 7-1 game in the ninth inning? Does that make any sense to you?
I don't get it. I mean, I think the only guys you can rely on from that is Loop, May, and I mean, if you want to be controversial, Diaz. But like,
Familia on that topic.
Familia's been good too. Yeah, Familia. I keep forgetting Familia's a thing.
And honestly, with the last, I mean,
I don't know. You can't rotate 4 different relievers. This is the problem. You can't just rotate 4 of them, especially when your starter can't even go 6.
Yeah.
And you have no Jacob deGrom. It's just.
And now it comes to a point to make things even better. You know, we're going to have 2 weeks just about of Dodgers, Giants.
With no
I'd be lucky if we can get 2 wins in those 2 weeks with our rotation, with the hot Dodgers lineup and pitching staff, with the hot Giants lineup and pitching staff, who is excellence in all categories around offense, defense, pitching, starters, bullpen, scoring, on the base pass. So you're just going to have 2 completely different teams just playing each other. And I'd be surprised if the Mets. I wouldn't be too surprised if the Mets managed to take a Kaplitsky even under 500 at this rate. I mean, something needs to be done. If acting general manager Zach Scott, who should be fired, needs to throw a chair like Brody did in 2019, and then go on a hot game streak, throw the chair on the field. I don't care. Like, just I want Sandy gone. I want Brody gone. Steve Cohen wants, his new regime. Well, these are some Wilpon guys you got around. So,
okay, I need to pull this up real quick because Passion just tweeted this. This is just I don't even know what to make of this.
Injury or something? I'm gonna.
No, it's about Kumar Rocker. So I got to.
Oh yeah, we didn't sign him. Big boo-hoo.
No, but the way he said it is just like he made it seem as if Rocker is healthy. So I'm just very confused. So let's read this. It says the New York Mets and Kumar Rocker, first-round pick, do not come to agreement on the deal. The Mets get this is the one. It's this one, the statement. Rocker is healthy according to an independent medical review by multiple prominent baseball orthopedic surgeons. Immediately upon conclusion, he had the MRI. So medical experts found no significant change. Kumar requires no medical attention and will continue to pitch in the regular course as he prepares his professional career.
Keep it up, Mets.
So you don't sign Kumar Rocker, and by all accounts, from multiple doctors, he's healthy and still going to pitch? How did you not sign this guy then? What is going on here? This makes no sense. If multiple doctors got this guy checked out, he's fine. How is he not signed? This makes no sense. And then Zach Scott's response, not the outcome we wanted. We wish him the best. No kidding, not the outcome we wanted. And then when they kept asking about it, no comment. What is this? Oh my God!
I'm at a loss here.
No
I'm at a
medical
loss here. I don't
attention.
know what the hell's going on.
This guy's going to continue pitching otherwise.
Yeah.
What?
Don't worry, guys. Like the owner said, in 3 years, we're going to make the big blast. Now we're just going to say, screw it. 3 years, we're going to make the big blast, like he said.
I swear, if this came back because by all accounts he's healthy, I'm done. Because, I mean, what is this? We thought the richest owner in baseball, this, that, and the other. And if you're not going to sign Kumar Rocker for money reasons, you're going to give up Pete Armstrong because of money reasons. You're not going to get Kenta Maeda because of money reasons. I mean, what are we doing here? Oh, we're going to go over the tax eventually. Yeah, when are you going to do that? After you give Conforto the qualifying offer, you probably let Stroman walk. You're going to give all your money to Javi Baez and call it a day? I mean, give me a break. This is just so ridiculous. I mean, this guy, if he was healthy, he could have been the number 2 prospect in the system. He could have been a game changer for this organization. Young starting pitching is the most important thing in all of baseball, and he's going to let this guy walk away.
And he could have been called up in a year or 2.
Oh, my God. I can't believe this.
So in a week, we've missed out on at least a dozen pitchers in the free agency. Then we miss out on a pitching prospect. It's always fun because, our pitching staff is so packed in the farm system. And it's funny because, guys like Cohen and all them say, oh, we want to be like the Dodgers. It seems like a Dodgers move right here to pick up this guy.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's going to go back to college. So and
then I'm sure another team's going to draft him, and he'll turn out to be a star, just like with the million other guys who go back to college and turn out to be stars.
Fucking draft him.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't get this because it's like if he continues to pitch and then if he messes up his arm even more, like that's on him. Like, why would he even risk it? If Kumar Rocker wasn't healthy, why would he even pitch in college and hurt his value even more? So by all accounts, if he's going to pitch, then he's healthy. So I really just don't get it.
There has to be some.
Wait a minute. How does Stroman have an ERA in the 2s if all he does is lose? You think the offense has something to do with that? This is the worst offense in all of baseball. There's more to baseball than wins and losses. Jacob deGrom, he pitches amazing, and it's hard for him to get double-digit wins. So don't overreact to a win or loss record. I mean, that's just ridiculous.
Stupidly.
I love it.
I don't get it.
Stroman hate, very common.
Over his win-loss record. I mean, come on now. Over his win-loss record. I mean, what'd you say after? What are you talking? What did they see? If he's going to still pitch, there's nothing wrong with him. Kumar Rocker is a dummy if he continues to pitch if there's something wrong with him. I mean, this makes no sense. Why would he get checked out by multiple doctors and they all say he's okay? I mean, why? I mean, it makes no sense.
Chris Bryant.
Yeah, he hits a homer. Rizzo homers, Baez homers. So I mean,
every team's having success. So it must suck to still feel the way that we've been feeling since,
I've seen tons of my teams in first place, and I've never been so stressed out that I have. With this team.
Like being in first place is one thing, but I mean, once you get to the playoffs,
but you're in first place. I mean, like that's the thing. Like you're in first place, and it's the most stressful. This is the most stressful. Like, I don't get it, man.
It's like they're only in first place because of how bad the division is. In any other division, they're not in first place.
Yeah, I mean, this is something that Tony said though. Like, you can't pick your family. Like, you can't pick your division. I mean, that's just how it is. But like,
you can't pick the playoffs though.
This is like, how is this? After every single day, you question, how is this team in first place? How is this team in first place? Even if this team, like the teams around them in that division, it's like ridiculous. I don't know, man. This team is going to make the playoffs with 82 wins, and I don't know. It seems like this team is so dysfunctional. It's like so dysfunctional that like they have to have like an amazing playoff run, right? Like, You know what I mean? It just seems so dysfunctional that like once they get into the playoffs, they'll be unstoppable, right? Like,
no,
it makes sense, right?
In the rotation, they won't.
Yeah, it all comes down to the
right? Like, it just makes sense how it's like, okay, it's the most dysfunctional season ever. You're still in first place. You make the playoffs, and then all of a sudden they'll just make like this historic, amazing run. It makes sense, right? Just how awkward this season has been. Where you're where like you just have all of these great play and like they've basically shown pretty much nothing. And it's like I don't get it. It's just I wouldn't be surprised if that's how this like awkward season ends. Just weird. I mean, very weird.
Yeah, the 2015 Mets, like they weren't. I never thought they'd go to the World Series at any point. Even when they were in the playoffs, I still didn't think they were going to beat the Dodgers. I didn't think they'd beat the Cubs, but they did. But just this team is so inconsistent. Like I don't know what version of this team we're going to get because this team does have a very high ceiling, so to speak. Like they can be a really good team if everybody's clicking and everybody's healthy. But we just haven't seen that for a long stretch. Not even a stretch of a week have we seen this team just have a great week where everyone's hitting, everyone's pitching well, no one's getting hurt. Like that hasn't happened yet at any point this season. And I just think that this series against the Dodgers and Giants is really going to tell all because those are most likely the two teams you're going to play after if you beat the Brewers. If you beat the Brewers, then you're looking at Dodgers Giants, one of them most likely.
Yeah, true.
So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, true.
I said it to everyone. Offense. Mark my words, the bench mob will be better than our current squad. Mets fan could argue I said that.
I don't think
it is true. I really think it's true at this rate, and I think it comes to the point now is that we have no more chances. Everyone said, "Oh, we're a second half team." Well, we're already a week or two in the second half. I still see the same struggles. Oh, we're gonna make a move at the deadline. That's out the door. Sorry. Yeah. Oh, drafts. Oh, that's so far everything's out the door. So unless somehow we could, like Mets fans said, call someone up from the farm system and try to pick and point and try to find your luck. And overall, everyone's saying, oh, but we'll get to Grom back in September, or we'll get Syndergaard back in September. Yeah, it's going to be too late, likely. Just like 2019 when all of our issues came and we got it figured out, but too late. This Mets team, I'm sure they'll get hot. Like I said, the names are here. It's just we're physically not seeing it. I'm sure it'll happen, but it'll be too late. It'll be probably a week in September, and we'll go on a hot spree, and we'll miss it.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? I mean, this team usually does have good Septembers, but they just got to get through August at this point. That has to be the main goal.
And now we're going into Miami. I'm hoping we could at least take 1 out of 4. As pathetic that sounds, I'm hoping we take 1 out of 4. Because 1, the Marlins always give us a run for our money. And 2, we're going to be facing, I think, 2 left-handed pitchers. And then overall, Mets offense is nothing.
Yeah, the Marlins always play us tough no matter what, so that's not good. And their pitching is really good. So for a struggling offense, that's the last thing you want. The Marlins don't have a start announced for Tuesday. They have Zach Thompson Wednesday and Thursday. Yeah, Trevor Rogers. So they're going to face Jesus Luzardo and Trevor Rogers in this series. So Trevor Rogers did pitch good against the Yankees, but, I mean, the Mets against lefties is a different story. Luckily, Baez homered against Wade Miley, a left-hander, yesterday, so you hope that maybe that's a sign of things to come. Just somebody who is capable against left-handed pitchers. That's what it's going to come down to. And like I said earlier, I want to see J.D. Davis get some playing time. I don't think Jonathan Villar should be starting over J.D. Davis. I think there's no reason for that. J.D. Davis has much more potential, especially offensively, than Jonathan Villar does. And he's just he gives you much more productive at-bats, and Villar just keeps getting picked off every 5 minutes. So I would let J.D. Davis get some starts, get his head right, let him get going, because since you kept J.D. Davis through the trade deadline, he could be an X-factor bat for you while you're waiting for Lindor to come back. You don't know what Nimel's going to be, and Michael Conforto is still in a slump. So I think that J.D. Davis could be that guy who's not playing at all, could be someone that gives you some spark. I hope there's no injury with him that we don't know about, but I just don't see why this guy is getting 0 playing time, not even getting a pinch hit. I mean, what's the point of J.D. Davis? You're just leaving him on the bench just to sit on the bench and do nothing? Because, like I said before, he's not coming in for defense. He's not coming in for speed. So what's his role with this team? It's very weird. They're trying at this point now so they don't make playoffs and won't be elected. I don't know about that. Yeah, and at least Todd Frazier's doing well in the USA Olympics. We should have just got him back, right? That would have been the big bad if it's lefties.
Didn't I say that multiple times?
All right, here we go. If Conforto could get it going, would make things a lot easier. Lindor, this one could get going. If Lindor and Conforto get going, I mean, this team is easily going to win the division. But both happening, or even one happening, is not very likely. Also, where is Davis? That's what I've been asking. Our biggest weakness is offense. If we say one of our offensive players, my point exactly. bring back the Todd father. And just don't let him run because he'll get thrown out at home plate. But the good thing is that Dissecting wouldn't even send Frazier, so we won't have to worry about that anymore. So we'd be fine. Tom Frazier get thrown home plate every time, but now we don't even have to send him.
I was surprised they sent Guillorme.
Yeah, me too. I was surprised they sent even Pilar. I mean, you think they're just going to hold people up. And it stinks because last night was such an exciting game. Like, Drury gets this amazing hit. Pitch was in the other batter's box in the dirt, and he just goes the other way with it. A beautiful hit. The Mets make this comeback, and I think Dom Smith gets a great hit. Edwin Diaz gets to have a huge jam in the 10th inning. Javi Baez hits a massive home run. And then you just completely deflate everything with such a bad performance today.
It's just sad that how, like, a walk, a leadoff walk gets me more excited than it really should. It's just
because that's what
damn exactly. It's just like you get a base runner and you're like, okay, yeah, and then what's the probability of you grounding into a double play after that? It's just I can't.
Yeah, like Alonso, he's into a double play. I mean, right when
I think it's because speaking of PEDs, I think it's because Cano freaking tweeted last night about the win. Yeah. This is what happened. So we're not winning a single game in August. It's over. This is just stupid. I don't get it. This team every single time when they just go through this slump of these like little slumps where they can't hit at all, and then they have like this one game where they're like, okay, they pulled me right back in, and then it just like I don't get it. I don't fucking get it.
Messman, why don't you answer this question?
It's incredible talent, but why is because he's good in the 2-hole.
That's why. Okay. The analytics.
I've seen it a couple times.
The Alonso did very well in the 2-hole.
It's good to have your best push and pull hitter in the 2-hole.
Yeah, because if you see him a lot, he's just a guy that scares pitchers every time he's in the batter's box. So the more plate appearances for Alonso, the better. That's the whole mentality of having your best hitter bat number 2. That's what they say.
Yeah, he got
they finished July with a winning record, though, so I'm not sure if I really agree with that.
Yeah,
but they haven't been great lately, no doubt about it. Well, they have plenty of chances to trade a ground before, but now's not the time. Yeah, so this is an interesting question. Somebody is lying here. Is it the agent? I don't think the Mets will lie about his medical. Like, there has to be something we don't know because this just doesn't make sense.
From what I know, from how much trust I put into Sandy Alderson, how much trust I put into Zach Scott, pretty much. I know that Scott Boras had something to do with this. There's just no freaking way. I don't get it. I don't know. It had to be Scott Boras. There's absolutely no way that a office run by Sandy Alderson would be this incompetent.
Aaron Judge does, and it's more of a trend in the modern day of baseball where more, not just your power hitter, but your best hitter.
Yeah.
Who's been the Mets' best hitter this year? Answer me that. It's been Pete Alonso. Brendan Nimmo gets on. Pete Alonso.
Brendan Drury.
Yeah, well,
I can confirm with that on the show. Gary, Keith, and Ron were talking about nowadays. A lot of managers, typically, obviously in baseball, nowadays are batting their power hitter second. I'm guessing so you could start to get something on the board. Obviously, you have your leadoff guy get on, whether it's a walk, base hit. In this case, usually with Nimmo, hopefully a walk or hit by pitch or a single. And then you get Alonso up to drive him some power, hit a double, hit a triple, or a home run, really just to advance.
It's also
you think a third or fourth would really be it, but it's second now.
It used to be. It's more designed around a DH lineup, but I mean that's just kind of how it is. Where you get your speedy, get on base guys batting ninth, such as Luis Guillorme. Guillorme's not fast, but he gets on base, and then you have Nimmo, and then you'll have Alonso. That's basically how it is now. I mean, you kind of have to adjust it here. You'll get somebody like VR in the 8-hole. He'll get bunted over by the pitcher. You get an intentional walk possibly, maybe to face Alonso for the double play, but then Alonso in the 2 spot just does it again. I mean, that's kind of how it is. That's kind of the approach that they do with putting Alonso second.
And the problem is, I was thinking about this, once the team is fully healthy, that when Lindor comes back, hopefully sometime soon, I don't think Alonso's going to be able to stay in the 2-hole because you're going to get down to the point where you have to have Nimmo leading off. That's obvious. And then Lindor is somewhere in that top 3. So you're going to have McNeil, Dom, and Conforto all batting back to back to back because you're not batting James McCann over any of those guys. So you're going to have to probably put Alonso, I would imagine, cleanup just to provide some kind of balance. And we know the way Rojas is anyway. He's not even going to let 2 lefties bat back to back regardless.
Best hitter hitting 255. Yeah, I know.
But because the lineup stinks. I memean, what do you want? So you could move Jeff to 2 eventually, but as of right now, that's the kind of order they have to go with. I mean, that it's just that simple. Jeff had to lead off today. So I think
Jeff is so red hot right now that you can put him anywhere. You can put him 6th, you can put him 5th. I'm fine, when Lindor comes back. If you want to put him 5th.
I think once Nimmo and Lindor are back, and then they'll be able to move Pete down, maybe move Jeff down, and kind of make a more balanced lineup. But as of right now, who they have.
When you're fully healthy, I would not be surprised if you see Conforto in the 8-hole. Because
James, who would you have batted second today? Nimmo's not in the lineup. Nimmo's not playing. Oh my God. Who would you have batted second today? We know Nimmo's not here. We just said that. Oh my God. What else we have? I think this Emma being the Olsen to ensure Cohen stay. There's no. Oh my God. But regardless, that doesn't affect anything. Kumar Rocker doesn't count towards the payroll. And the same thing with Javi Baez. You still would have been under the tax if you took on his full salary. So that it's not that either. So that's also.
I refuse to believe that Sandy had some kind of fumble with this Kumar. I refuse to believe that, especially with how amazing he treats, how amazing he executes like everything with his draft picks.
Yeah.
I refuse to believe that. He's never given me a reason to believe that. It makes no sense. That makes absolutely no sense to me. Like, I mean, you guys see how well he executes the draft. That's what Sandy does.
I know, but what I just can't figure out is that why is Kumar Rocker going to continue throwing? Because that would just ruin his value. If Kumar Rocker does continue to throw and completely blows out his arm, who's going to draft him? He's going to lose all the slot money. He's not going to get paid $6 million. He's going to be much lower in the draft. So I just don't even know, like, why would Kumar keep pitching? So that tells you that is there something really wrong health-wise if he's getting checked up by his doctors? Because if Boris is lying, why doesn't Sandy Olsen or Zach Scott have some courage, be honest, and say, no, Scott Boris is lying? Why don't they say something? Because right now they're looking like a bunch of fools.
I mean, he's been full senile for the past 4 years. I mean, that's just how. I mean, if you see and hear like how he speaks, it's like ridiculous. I don't know why this guy is still. I don't know why he's the most popular sports agent. I don't even know why he still has a job here. He has just lost all connection.
Probably because he's so greedy that he just won't. He's willing. Like, think what he did to Jackie Bradley. Jackie Bradley got completely just messed up because he held out so long, saying he wants 4 years, 60 million, something like that. And Jackie Bradley gets like a 1 year, 2 year, $18 million deal, something like that. So
it's kind of like I feel like Boris and Sandy have probably butted heads multiple times.
For sure.
100%.
And I don't really think that with Brody would have been much better. Probably been even worse, honestly, because Brody, as a former agent himself, like those negotiations would have gone well either, I would imagine. But I mean, Boris has gotten his clients some big paydays, whether it's Strasburg or others. So that's why people, again, they know that he's a tough negotiator and he's going to try his absolute best, even if it's unconventional, just to get him the most money. And that's what matters to a lot of these players, the most money.
And so is Sandy. So is he. He's a tough negotiator. He's a very stubborn negotiator.
That's why it doesn't work.
I mean, I don't know if everybody remembers this, but who remembers the Francisco Lindor extension?
Oh, obviously.
I mean, come on. Like, this is what Sandy does. Sandy's very patient. He snipes. That's what he does. And that's, I mean, say what you want about Sandy. I mean, I praise him all the time. I think he's an outstanding executive. But with free agency, he's a little nuts. That is a little.
with big free agents, he's a little nuts because he actually came out aces with Peraza and Drury and playing these other lower level guys.
Yeah.
They came out really well with them. Loop. I mean, oh my
big
God.
Fish, he is very stubborn with, which I'm okay with because I'm not a big fish type of guy with free agency. But like, I don't know. I don't know. And that's why I was okay when they were like Jared Porter, because Jared Porter is not very good in free agency. But then all of a sudden,
well, yeah,
what he did off camera, I don't know.
I think once Sandy is gone, I think that's when we're gonna learn who Zach Scott is, because I'm really not sure who is making the decisions right now. And like, would Zach Scott have been willing to trade away a Pico Armstrong and be so strict about money, taking on Bias's contract and things like that? It just doesn't seem like, I don't think that's Zach Scott's mentality.
I'm not fully angry about what's happening. I just want to know what is going on.
Yeah.
That's what I want to know first, and then I could get angry or not. I just need to know what is actually going on.
Yeah, but that's the thing. We don't really know. They've been so they've been so hush about it. Like I said, every time they ask Zach Scott about Kumar Rocker, it's no comment, no comment.
I think a lot of people are kind of forgetting he's the acting general manager. He's only there because of what Jared Porter did off camera.
True.
So I think a lot of people are I don't want to say people put too much thought into Jared Porter, but after the season, they're going to go out for their own guy.
Yeah, I mean, they could. If there's a candidate they really like, they could do that. But I mean, I'm willing to give Zach Scott a shot. I mean, he comes from good organizations, and we could see just how good analytics are because he's very analytical heavy.
But he's getting kicked already. He got kicked.
What did he? I mean, do you see what he did with this defense?
Well, no, the defense has been great. I understand that, but I'm just saying that's why. Like, let Zach Scott have a chance and just see what happens. And I think Cohen also deserves a lot of credit for that because he upgraded this analytics department with the kind of programs they were using, because the Wilpons were not putting any money into analytics or the software that many of these teams are using in the modern day. So Cohen does deserve credit for that, for sure. Because he said that was a top priority, was upgrading their analytics department, which they needed to. So I'm glad that happened.
They got to upgrade the scouting department next. I mean.
Yeah, I mean, he was there with Jared Porter. That's true. And then
I'm not saying leave the organization. I mean, leave as general manager.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if they'd want to bump him down to like assistant again. I feel like he would just want to try to get a true head GM job, which he probably could somewhere else.
I mean, we also have to realize the type of corner that Sandy and even Zach Scott have been completely backed into. Your entire team has gone onto the IL. Your entire team. I mean, I would be sweating the entire time too. What'd you say?
Isn't it up to them to do something about it? Change the program, change the trainers, change anything?
I don't know. I think there's things that need to be made. There's moves that need to be made, and there's things that, like, there's a way that you can handle this, but like, I think they're just so hesitant because they think, as per right now, if you make one move, someone's back is gonna break. I mean, that's how it's worked this year. And it makes I don't know. And that's probably why they're even more hesitant than they already are.
Yeah, I mean, it's just so unfortunate. Like, that's not how the way things should be. I mean, you shouldn't have to play where you're like, oh, we can't do this, we can't do that. Like, Nimmo, he tries to make a great catch for you. He does make a good play for you, and he just gets hurt. The same happened with Janesh Fargas. The same has happened with so many outfielders where they make a big play for you, and then they get hurt. And now, of course, Fargas is gone because you got to keep Albert Almora.
After what Sandy dealt with the Wilpons, I would not be surprised that after this year, he goes up to Steve and says, hey, I can't do this. Like, I can't do this.
Yeah, this is very different for him. This is very, very different for him. Even though he said he worked in Oakland where they had like all the big time players, it's just I don't know. Like, I feel like Steve Cohen, if I had to guess, this is all speculation, but I think he truly lets Sandy Olson and Zach Scott do what they have to do, and he signs the checks.
Okay.
Sandy and Zach Scott says, these are the guys. Here's the check. This is what these guys get paid. Steve Cohen signs off because Steve Cohen has a day job. He doesn't have the time, nor could he afford to just be so focused on baseball. He needs to focus on the job where he's making billions. I mean, that's what I hope.
And that's why I get so frustrated with people they're like, oh, where is he on Twitter? He's got a fucking job, people.
Yeah. And it seems like he shouldn't even be on Twitter anyway. It's a bad place to be.
No,
Twitter
really
is the worst.
the type of environment it is right now, no, at all. Not at all.
Let's add some more flavor to the stream as we have a frozen Tony Metro or now a black screen Tony Metro. So once his connection is stable, we can get him in there. Neville Buxton always he is pretty injury prone, but he said he should be back tomorrow. So I mean, Buxton, who knows when we're gonna see that guy again? Buxton's probably a little worse. I don't know if I heard Cohen say that. That'd be pretty interesting. I hope not. I need him to keep making billions. I need that net worth to keep going up as long as he spends it. You know what I mean? Like as long as he's willing to. Because you can't say we're going to be like the Dodgers when the Dodgers are already over the cap and then go way over the cap and continue to just go over and over and over and be the team that's cutting salary and is under the cap.
I think he tried to be. I think he tried to be the Dodgers, but then he saw his entire fucking roster get completely blown up by injuries. That's what
what I never understand is the fact that they offered Bauer $40 million, which would have put them over the tax, and now ever since then have been so hesitant to go over. So like they were willing to do it for him, but everybody else is like, no, only him. Like that's just a weird.
I think they realized.
I just don't know what is going on. Like with the Wilpons, you pretty much knew what was going on with their mind. And we knew how scummy they were. But I just don't even understand what actually is going on, so I can make heads or tails or judge it in any way.
I agree.
I don't know what. Like I don't get it. And maybe that is like an effect of having a new regime and a new ownership and a new front office and everything. But I just don't get it. I don't even know what's going on here. I can't even make heads or tails or judge any of it right now. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we'll learn as time goes on, but just I don't really get.
Will we though? They put everything behind closed doors.
Yes, well, we know Sandy's very tight-lipped. So, but I'm just saying, as far as the way they act on a day-to-day basis, like whether it comes to how they treat the farm system, how they treat salary, how they treat what happened with Kumar Rocker, how they treat the negotiations with Michael Conforto. I feel like that's the stuff that we're going to learn. You know, how Cohen is as the owner and how Sandy is with the owner that has the money and is more willing to spend the money than the Wilpons do. Because, like, you think about what happened with Boris and Kumar Rocker just today. What in the heck is going to happen with him and Conforto once they have that conversation? I mean, I just think I don't know. Like,
and the best you're going to get is a qualifying offer.
And you know that Boris is going to, like, try his absolute best that Michael not take it. And he's going to tell Michael, no, you can get more money from another team, leave them. And then all of a sudden they give Javi the money and Conforto's gone. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if gone because of Boris.
This is what you want to do. If you are if your client is named Alex Rodriguez, you don't want to work with that agent. And that would be Scott Boris.
Well, I mean, a lot of players, they have them. Has the core that Cohen and Harry proven they're worth going low strikes? It's not that. It's the fact that they were willing to do it for Bauer, but now, like, again, I just don't understand why
are they hesitating because of Cano?
Pico Armstrong. That's the part I don't get.
Like, again, only $20 million. So
Javi's not making close to nothing. He's making what, $3 million at most because of the prorated. I just don't really get that.
Are they hesitating because of Cano?
But that's like,
what?
Well, no, but again, you don't go over for Bauer if you're worried about Cano. Like it doesn't.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Because no matter what, you're over the tax, especially because Bauer was a multi-year deal. They gave him a 3-year
figure it out. I don't know. I can't figure it out.
Yeah, and I have no idea what they're going to do with Cano. I mean, maybe they keep him, maybe they don't. I don't know. I really don't. Let's see if Andrew, do you have any Robinson Cano or Steve Cohen answers that you could share with us? Because as of right now, we're pretty clueless.
Yeah, I think we all have the same answer. I mean, the Cohen stuff, I don't like that everything now is financial situation. $1 million off here. Yeah. You won't take money there. That's what I'm not liking. But could that just be, him? Could that be the media going against the Mets? Because that report that is, who's that guy? We've never heard of that guy before in our lives. And now we're taking that report like it's
the same thing with, the same thing with Donaldson. That Alexander person, that's the first I ever seen them about. And, like, no one else said that. So, I mean, if we look at the spot track, I mean, does it tell us what they're paying Javi, or does it just say his regular salary?
It went down from the time of the trade. We were at 208. I remember I went right when we were on stream. I went straight to it. We were at 208.
Yeah.
After the report that Feinstein said that the Mets are getting him for league min, it went down to 197. Both of them went down.
So the Cubs did take Baez's contract, and
Williams. Williams cost.
Yeah, that doesn't matter. But it's like, why? Why did they have to? I mean, and the thing is that if you were willing to take on that money, maybe you could have not given up Pico Armstrong, and like I said, give it up. Even if it was Palmer and another lower level prospect, I would have been okay with that. I just have no interest in getting rid of Pico Armstrong, especially I don't know what he is. I have no idea what he is yet. I wanted to see before I'm ready to move on from this guy.
He's Justin Durant 2.0 with speed and athleticism.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully he's not Jaron Durant, because if he's Justin Durant, I could live with that. But if he's Jaron Durant, then we're in trouble.
He's Kevin Kiermaier right now. If his bat ever develops, he could be something more. Right now, he's Kevin Kiermaier.
And his bat didn't look too bad in spring training. He didn't look like he was a guy like way in over his head. So I think he could have grown into it. I mean, when he was in high school, this guy had like over 400 hours. This guy was raking when he was playing in school, and he's just so young, and he needs a lot of seasoning, and now he's just another year behind development-wise after the significant injury. And that's if he could ever get back to where he was. They would have really helped, but like I don't think Donaldson is the guy I would go over for. I don't know.
But he's better than VR. What you got now?
He is, but I said before, why is J.D. Davis not playing? Like I wish we would know that.
They secretly traded him in the packaging.
What is it?
A player didn't know they were traded, but still played some games after the trade deadline. That is such a Mets thing to happen.
That is.
Again, but like Tony, if Bauer did indeed sign, then they would just be screwed right now. So it's just like I don't know. They should have thought of that before even offering that kind of money.
Well, Mets are letting someone walk, and I think that's pretty obvious. They're letting someone walk.
Yeah, and
one of those names Tony put in the chat. The exclusion of Cano.
Well, two of them could be gone. I think maybe they just buy out Cano straight up, or I hope not Bobby Bonilla style.
I don't really think they get rid of Cano. I mean, he's going to be 37, 38.
Well,
I mean, there's no DH to my knowledge yet.
Not yet, but there should.
And you're not
there should be
second base with freaking those legs.
Not now. If you pay Javi, you're really going to screw.
And especially if you have Javi. So I mean, I don't think I want to be a bench bat.
Yeah, I just think that the infield is going to be so crowded long term. Even if you extend Javi, I mean, you're going to have Javi and Lindor locked in. Like I said a million times, I'm locking up Jeff Mignon, I'm locking up Alonso. That leaves no room for Mauricio, Vientos, and Beatty. So I just don't really know if that's the correct approach. I mean, maybe Javi Lorenzo, but if he goes off, they probably will try to keep him. If you have to make Jeff an outfielder, so be it. Again, I said earlier, I don't think Sandy really cares too much about defense, because the trading of Pico Armstrong told me everything I needed to know about how much he values defense, and the way the Mets were lined up defensively in all of Sandy Alston's regime, particularly 2015, tells me all I need to know about how he values defense, and that is not very much. He cares about home runs, and that's about it. I mean, that just seems like that's his philosophy.
And yet they're still the best defensive team in baseball this year somehow. So it's like weird. Like what? It makes
because of analytics and shifting. Like you said, that's
because of James McCann. That's
100%.
100%. Did I say Justin or Jaron?
You said Justin. Yeah.
I'm not the linebacker. I make Jaron. I was about to say.
That's all good.
No, but, I mean, Frank, like you said.
Yeah, it's at 197. You're right, Andrew.
Yeah. I put it in the group chat, but besides the point, if you let Conforto walk, I think we're all kind of either qualify him because Boris is going to get a deal for him. Depending if it's with the Mets or somewhere else. You do move Jeff back out to the outfield, which he was decent enough in the outfield. Yes, it's not his primary position.
Especially right. He's really good left. Right field would be a little tricky.
And he's so good now that I hate to put him in a spot where he just gets all iffy. Like, he's so good offensively. He's hot with the bat. Even defensively, he's fine. McNeil stated in 2019 he feels the most comfortable on the right side of the field. He said that he sees the ball come off the bat much better than in left field or at third base. And we've seen a small sample size from him at third base, and it's not that great with the exclusion of that one game against the Phillies where he had that like trip and fall double play, which was pretty interesting. But I like him at second base.
No, I agree. I love Jeff McNeil at second base. He's continuing to improve there because he's getting the reps there. And I think as time goes on, he's probably going to continue to get better and better at second base. But I don't know. I mean, I think if you sign Javi long term, maybe he doesn't like playing third base. Maybe he wants to play second base. And if he's going to pay that money, he's going to have priority. You know, like if they're signing him to play second, he's going to play second. That's where he wants to be. But again,
opens up for Beatty.
I think that if they put Jeff at third and it's a complete nightmare, and like it has been the past couple of times, and they say to Javi, like, listen, we really need you to play third because if you want to keep losing because you want to play second, then you're not staying here long term. So, I mean, but we'll see how it goes. Maybe they got to at least start letting Jeff get some reps, whether it's in practice or whatever. Let him play third a little. This way, once Lindor is back, it's not just completely foreign to him and just totally new. I think they at least got to start practicing that. You know, they just got to be prepared for that because that could be their future infield for a couple of years. So I think they have to be ready for that.
And yet we are focusing more on trading away outfield and paying more attention on infield, where it should be the other way around.
And the infield, like I said, is our strongest position farm system-wise, where outfield is our weakest position. And that's where they want to trade away from. I mean, I think as much as I like the way Vientos has been swinging the bat, I would have been more willing to part with him because I'm getting another infielder in Baez. And, like, who else is going to replace Pete Armstrong? I mean, maybe it's Khalil Lee, but that remains to be seen.
Ready, though, is the problem.
Yeah.
Or Pete Crow is 2-3 years away.
It might be with the injuries, probably 3 to 4 now because he is only 19. So it's going to be a while. But between 3 to 4 years, could the Mets get another center fielder in here? That's the future answer. Maybe. But that's hard to do. I mean, it's like getting a good two-way long-term catcher. Most of the teams that have them, they're not looking to get rid of them. I mean, like whoever has a great center fielder and is a good team, they're not giving you their center fielder. So it's one of the harder positions to find. I've said this a million times, but the Mets haven't had it since Beltran in 06. They've been trying to find it, and they still haven't found it. And now that Pete Armstrong's gone, it's going to be even harder to find it. And I'm just so sick of that because me personally, even though Nemo's been good, imagine Nemo went left. I mean, you would have even your defense has been good this year. It would be even better.
But you're taking your DRS leader out of the lineup. That's his best position, Dom Smith.
That's true. I mean, Dom is great DRS. Mechanics, ugly. Arm, ugly. But he gets good DRS. So that's what matters.
Where are the Mets in defensive run save now?
First.
They're first.
I was going to say I'm pretty sure they're like top 3. It's really unfortunate with center field because, I mean, the Mets have kind of neglected that position since what, 2014?
Since 06.
Beltran at
2014, you had Juan Lagares out there. But I mean,
well, again, the two-way center.
Two-way, it's Charles.
Two-way,
yeah. I mean, that was the one time they had a glove. And then, of course, they extend Lagares and bring in Cespedes to play center field, and we know how that went. Offensively, great. Defensively, not so much.
Mets fan, what's Nemo's outs above average in center field this year? It's positive?
Oh.
Is it 4?
Positive. So we don't know center. We got a center fielder. Enough with getting Nemo out of center field. He's staying there. No.
And what's Dom's OAA? Negative what?
Negative 5.
I don't know.
Yeah,
so the playoffs.
So bring a left fielder and get Dom out of here. Get him back to first base.
Yeah, don't you love? We love DRS.
McNeil's the left fielder.
Or McNeil. That works too.
What were you saying, Hayden?
I was going to say, all you need to go is put Nemo in the playoffs. Go play on the warning track.
I just
grab a single.
I'm telling you, Nemo could rob a lot of home runs in the postseason. I wouldn't surprise you if he goes. We're asking to just robbing homers left and right because I mean that could be a real difference maker. And again, as long as he's healthy, we'll see what happens tomorrow in Miami. That's going to tell us a lot. That really is, especially because what he got hurt, it was leg related. So in center field, you can't be having a bad leg. You're going to be running around, especially Miami. That's a big outfield. Yeah. That's a tough center field to cover. So, I mean, that's going to be a pretty tough test for Nemo. And I just hope the best that it works out. And I think for Pilar, I mean, after the home run he got against Cincinnati, he really has not done much lately. And this guy is playing a lot. I don't know what his XBA is, but his regular BA is not very good. So I've been a little disappointed with him offensively because he's been a guy that we know he was a great defender at one point in time, but as his career progressed, he became a really good offensive player, great RBI guy. But this year, he has not been a great RBI guy. So I've not liked that. The Mets are planning to trade Cano and Almore for Shane Bieber this offseason, Tony. Yeah, that'd be a good move. How can we not be for that? All right, so we're going to try one more time for Tony Metro. He had to get out of the sun. He had to lose some tan lines to come inside. So let's see, Tony. What is up?
You're asking a lot for me to give up my Sunday tanning. But I wanted to say, because you guys were talking about it earlier, about the whole Kumar Rocker thing and Sandy and Boris. So Boris obviously is saying that he's healthy, that they've got top medical experts that have evaluated him, said there's nothing wrong. The Mets obviously feel differently. So really what I'm most curious about is what did the Mets front office and executives hear from other teams, perhaps? Because obviously a guy who was like a surefire number 2, number 4, top 5 pick in the draft doesn't just fall to 10 out of nowhere. So I don't know if teams communicate that way. I don't believe that, but it's just kind of strange to me that the Mets went into this without any inkling of an idea that he might be hurt or that this might be a very complicated negotiation with Boris's camp. So I'd like to just know that. What did you guys know before you picked him? And
I agree. He probably dropped for a reason. The fact that the Angels took Sam Bachman, who's another pitcher, over him, I mean, that should tell you everything. And we thought, oh, it's because of money. Oh, thank God we have Cohen. It's because of money. It's not because of money. And like, how did these other teams know that his elbow wasn't okay? And at the last second, the Mets realized that his elbow wasn't okay. But if his elbow isn't okay, why is he going to continue throwing and risk even further injury and losing more money and just losing a career in general? If you pitch with a bad elbow, I mean, you could be done. So I just don't understand. I don't understand the Mets part of it. I don't understand Rocker's part of it if his elbow is that bad. Like you said, Tony, how could these other teams, how could 9 other teams have information that you don't? Like, what are you doing wrong so that you didn't know that? Like, the fact that this guy was dropping wasn't suspicious to you. I mean, you thought it was simply because of money. I mean, that's just like, it's such a bad look for them because if it's health-wise, you should have known that before the draft because obviously the Angels and other teams did.
And not only that, but you guys said something about it earlier. First of all, when you sign a player to a signing bonus, it doesn't count toward your team's salary or your luxury tax salary. So throw that out the window. The Mets having the richest owner in baseball or the poorest owner in baseball doesn't matter. Secondly, every team starts with the same amount of money in their draft pool unless they trade it, which is sometimes happens in trades, or you could trade international signing money. So the Mets had no more an advantage or disadvantage than any other team when it came to signing Kumar Rocker or anyone else they wanted to draft. So I think it's really weird and suspicious. I'm not like super upset that it didn't happen, but I am still kind of just scratching my head like, what exactly went down here? And we know Boris is going to play hardball. I'm actually surprised. I think they made the wrong choice. I think, how do you turn down $5 million, get an operation if you do have an injury by the best potential doctor, as opposed to going and doing it independently, as just a normal college student. So I thought it was a bad choice by Rocker, but Sarah.
Let him be the next Brady Aiken. Let him be the next Mark Appel. Walk away from the money and never get back the money you could have gotten.
That's why I think from the Mets perspective, that's where I'm irritated that they couldn't just make it happen because it's international or it's draft pool money that they can't put towards next year. Only thing they got out of this is that now they pick 11th in next year's draft. That's the only thing they got, which, that's nice. But
they got 2 picks. They get a comp pick. Yeah.
I would have given him $5 million and taken it.
Yeah. And the other problem is you also compromise yourself for the rest of the draft when you give your first pick $6 million, and now you have the very little money to spread around the rest of the draft, and it doesn't affect you internationally at all. That's a whole nother set of money. So it's just like there is something that we're missing. Whether it's Boris, whether it's the Mets, whether it's Rocker, there is something we're not getting because it just doesn't make sense. My thing is that if his arm is bad, why would he keep throwing? Because that's just like it's such a bad move for Rocker individually. It's such a horrible business move. So why would he keep throwing? So that means his arm's okay, which then it comes down to why don't the Mets get this guy, whether it's money or arm related. There's just a lot of elements that just don't seem right here.
Just give the $6 million to Beatty. At this point, just give the $6 million to Beatty.
Make that his promotion check. There you go, your promotion check, $6 million.
And I was saying before, Tony, like we know Sandy and Boris don't get along. I mean, Boris probably doesn't get along with any GM, but the way this whole Rocker situation unfolded, that doesn't help Michael Conforto's chances of staying with the Mets at all. I mean, because now that's going to be a harder negotiation to handle because he's a qualifying offer candidate right now, and Boris is going to absolutely decline a qualifying offer. He's going to tell Michael, "Oh, go elsewhere, go elsewhere." He's going to tell him 1,000,000 times, "Go elsewhere. You'll get a good contract." So I mean, it's going to make for another headache come off-season time.
Yeah, well, whoever values expected batting average the most will probably land Conforto because his real stats suck. So
yeah. So I mean, whoever likes walks, they'll get them. So he'll probably end up in Oakland if they're willing to.
I love walks, man.
He's
love
super
walks.
clutch. He's awesome. He's big run creator.
I'll take
Get all the memes in.
Down by 8 or up by 7. Awesome.
Oh, boy.
Well, it has not.
Don't give me that look, Mets fan. Come on.
I mean, you're being the devil.
Conforto
We know
he's not clutch, man. I don't know what to say.
No,
He's
okay.
not clutch enough.
We know Conforto what he's capable of. Yes, I think you do have to evaluate expected results in certain, cases, but obviously he's been terrible.
He looks terrible. No, he looks terrible. There's nothing you can say. He looks terrible. He doesn't even look like he has any life in him. He's like dead.
It really just sucks
dead right
because
now.
it's in a walk year, and I was hoping he was going to hit the cover off the ball and we'd sign him long term, and then whatever happens with that happens. But it's now made the next year very complicated for the Mets.
And there were signs of him doing that. Like he had a few outings where like he was destroying the baseball, and you're like, okay, here we go. He's looking like he's on the fastball. He's looking like he's and then he's just gone. He's just.
The two Cincinnati games looked like he was going to break out of it, and then since he hits the home runs, and then
that's a great American small park. I mean,
that Pittsburgh home run, the clutch one.
Yes,
that would have.
He just looked like he was using the whole field. That was it. He just looked like he was
right from Pittsburgh to Cincinnati. That was all one stretch of games, a stretch of 3 games or so, and it doesn't break out of it. And my concern with Michael is that. I think the reason for most of the shows this year has to do with that walk year, the mental aspect of it. It wears you down. And then the fans booing him every single time is making things even worse. And you can tell when this guy in the middle of a game is taking 3 pitches, strike 1, strike 2, strike 3, doesn't swing once. It just tells you that things are getting worse for him mentally. He's just so lost. And they give him the mental day off yesterday, and it still didn't help. So it's just you feel bad for the guy because it doesn't help him. It doesn't help us that he's struggling like this. So if Met fans want Conforto to do well, I don't say cheer him, but don't boo him. Just let him do him and figure it out. I mean, that's the only way we'll get Michael back to where he used to be.
It's so bad because he is usually the most composed player on the field. And you can see it's getting to him. Like he looks like he is distraught right now. He looks terrible. I mean, I don't even know what to say anymore because I'm always somebody to defend him, but he's just like he doesn't even look like he's alive sometimes. I don't even know what to say anymore.
And what's so strange about Michael that I can't figure out is that you're thinking, okay, well, it's a walk year, he's getting booed, whatever. Maybe he's not a mentally tough player. Maybe he can't handle the big moment. But then look at what he did in the postseason as a rookie. This guy could perform when it matters most, but it's just that for some reason.
You might have to just shave the facial hair. Go back to the baby face.
Yeah.
Do something.
I don't get it. It's very, very confusing. I just don't understand. And I think also it's not helping him, but the umpires have been very tough with him. They're calling pitches up and in, strike, pitches way on the outside corner, strike. I mean, this guy can't catch a break from anybody. I mean, and I'm not the guy to defend him, but he's had a wide strike zone, it seems. I don't know, maybe if the umpires know you're not swinging the bat anywhere, they're going to call you strikes. Not to get off topic, but the Reds, Aquino acted like he drew a walk, and the next bat acted like he drew a walk. Those next pitches that both those guys struck out on were not strikes. Struck him out. So the umpires, they have a way, like, if you're not swinging, we're going to call it a strike. So you better get that bat off your shoulder. And I think that's the only way Michael's going to get back into it is swinging the bat. Sure. You're not going to get out of a slump drawing walks. He's got to let it fly, go the other way, because that's what he did. Like, even the hit he got, the RBI hit he did get, he let go with one hand. He didn't take a huge hack. And that's what we did all of 2020, half swing, go the other way. And he hasn't done it yet. So, and now that it's a completely different hitting coach, it's not the hitting coach they had last year. It's not Chili Davis. It's just a completely different teacher. I don't think it's helping out Michael. It's like if you're a quarterback getting a bunch of new offensive coordinators like Sam Darnold did, it doesn't work. So you have something you want to show us, Mets fans?
Yeah, here. Look at the umpire last night.
Oh, this is last night.
This is terrible. Like, what is? I mean, it's consistent, yes, but what the hell?
Bad.
It's consistently terrible. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and of course McCann gets robbed. I mean, how could you do that to McCann?
Yeah, how could you do that to the most unlucky man in the world? Okay,
even Gary Coleman calls him a cannon.
Gary even called him a cannon. The McCann in the second.
Ridiculous.
All right, guys.
Look,
I gotta go.
Javi's got a McKinnon.
You
gotta go.
I say my piece on Rocker and everything else. Tough loss, but hey, we'll get back and we will be speaking and meeting on Thursday, right?
Yeah, of course. I think here actually. I think we went around the horn, so we're back to me. But thank you so much, Tony. Enjoy the sun. Enjoy Cali. Wonderful. All the sun's going down over here. Lucky.
Yeah.
Oh, best catcher in baseball, Jonah Heim. There he goes. Very
There we
good.
go.
And he frames.
There we go.
Back walk off. Eesh.
Yeah, there you go.
Hit a
Texas.
2-run. Yeah.
Making a late run at it, right? Yeah, but you know what? And the thing is that, like, even though the Mets are in first, they're in first by 3.5 games. So it's like, it doesn't make sense. They said in the beginning of the broadcast, Mets were 2 up. Then they had an okay July. They're 4 up. You know? And Nationals got worse.
Yep.
The Marlins, they're going to fight as tough.
Braves and Phillies are getting better day by day.
And we're not going to play the Braves anymore till the end of the year. So
Phillies, I'm
I have no
fear.
fear. No,
Yeah,
the
Phillies,
Braves
they
are the team I'm
lost
scared
to
of.
Pittsburgh, which we did too, so we can't.
Yeah,
really
we can.
brag. But they don't amaze me either. So again, like I said a million times, it's going to come down to this Giants-Dodgers series, and that's going to be it. I think that's going to truly be the make or break of the season. If they come out 500, they'll win the division. If they only win 2 or 3 games, and if somehow the Phillies or Braves do relatively well in that span of time, it's going to be pretty tough for them, unless DeGrom gets healthy and Lindor gets healthy, and they're all clicking. And that's a lot of ifs. And when it's that many ifs, it's not going to happen.
The Braves are screwed this week. They're going to play the Cardinals, and I'll be in the building. They're got a big fat L. So there you go.
You got to give the Cardinals some good luck, man.
Damn right.
Sketchy Cardinals.
Cardinals. Oh boy.
Okay. So does anyone else have any final points they would like to make?
Call up Vientos.
Call up Vientos. I'd like to see that. I mean, instead of calling up Albert Almora, let's get some offense in here. Sandy likes his dingers. Listen, if you're not going to play J.D. Davis anyway, call up Vientos and let's make some things happen. I mean, I agree.
Just for the outfield's sake, how about Khalil Lee? Hit some.
I agree. Like we know what Almora is. We don't know Khalil. Think what happened with Drury. Drury was terrible when he was first year. Awful. I couldn't stand seeing him bat one more time. Now he's the hottest man in baseball. How do we not know Khalil Lee could do the same thing once he comes back up? We know Almora's not going to hit. Let Khalil Lee, let the young guy have a chance. MLB Pipeline, I believe Pipeline, has his ETA is 2021. You know, Khalil Lee's an older guy. He's not Pete Crow Armstrong. So let Khalil Lee get some play time. Let him get some reps. The speed off the bench is that kind of – he can give you that, give you good placement, outfield, defense. I'm not going to send him. I mean, so what's the point? And you won't even wave him around home. So the first base coach won't send him, and the third base coach will stop him there. So you're really
Frank's
screwed.
mind is blowing up right now. It's like malfunctioning.
He's missing those old Cardinals teams. He's like, damn, why can't we be that?
I know, right? I'm just thinking back to the old days. Bob Gibson, Ozzie Smith.
I was talking Vince Coleman and those guys, but okay, you go all that way.
You don't stand the man. What's up, Hayden?
No, I thought we were talking 06 Cardinals. Or
no, I was talking 80s. Vince Coleman, Ozzie Smith just running Cardinals. Those guys.
06 Cardinals. What a story.
No, let's not open that book. Let's leave that book on the shelf.
I'll tell you what, Stan Musial, you couldn't shift against him. He always went the other way. I remember. I was like, you know what? You got to have Stan Musial.
Saw it live.
Stan the man. Okay, so thank you, everyone. Everyone could have a chance to plug their channel, any future content they want to preview or anything. So let's start with Marlins Talk, a.k.a. Mets Talk with Hayden.
What's going on, everyone? Yes, do not be fooled. It is Mets Talk. But I love baseball overall. Pretty good stuff coming up. Videos, live streams. We did a live stream. Watch solely the walk-off last night. We had a great attendance. So once again, I appreciate it. We did have a little issue in the comment section with some Mets and Reds fans. So definitely a nice brawl in the comment section rather than the stands. But hey, it was all fun at the end. Great W yesterday. Sadly, things were not able to transpire until today, but we have to keep our head high. But yeah, videos coming up soon. Please check me out. Going to a couple of Met games this week, so maybe I'll upload some stuff on that. We'll see. We have Mets Talk with Hayden. Well known for the rages, but I was very depressed today. I saw some people say in the comments you look depressed, and
it's a sad day. I mean, whether it's the way they play today, whether it's DeGrom or Nimmo or the Kumar Rocker situation, it's a sad day.
What is there to be happy?
Yeah, Andrew, what do you got for us?
I ain't got much. Maybe I'll stream tonight and maybe the show. I write now content after the post. I could do a post deadline review. It's right now this whole weekend. I'm going to a lot of games. I'm going to Tulsa. I'm going to a bunch of games. Cardinals game this week, Royals game next week. So maybe I'll do like Hayden said, maybe some vlogs. It's really got no content planned yet. So
no, good stuff. What about you, Mets fan? Anything cooking? Anything up the space sleeve?
I mean, I have a few things up in the air, kind of planning a lot of things for after the season is done, because I have a lot of things that have a big process. But I do have one about a certain Mets player. I'm hoping to get it done in the next freaking 2 weeks, but it's just been freaking crazy in my household. So let's go Mets. Off to Miami. Maybe with the field, how it's bigger, they won't hit the ball into somebody's glove. I don't know what to say anymore.
There you go.
And then Hayden will be there screaming at them. So it should be fine.
Hey, he'll screw the Mets over. I'll screw the Braves over. It's all good. There you go.
Maybe I need to go to the Phillies game. We could kind of just like get little contributions from all over the globe. That would help us out. All right. Then as far as me, Mets Weekly on Thursday at this channel, Frank About Sports, be there. We'll all be there. And who knows, we're probably have a lot to talk about because the Marlins are going to play us tough. Whether we win or lose, I bet we'll have plenty to talk about. So thank you, everybody, for tuning in. I appreciate it. Check out all these guys, great people. Leave a like in the future or in the past or present. Till next one, be safe, be smart, be healthier than the Mets. Let's go, Mets. Have a good one, everyone.